Ploshi Chaco, Nika Yule, Saavista, Nika name, Brenda Brainard, Nika Kopa, Silkus, Queech, Sayushla, Malik, Talikam, Ina, Talikam. Hello, I just greeted you in my indigenous language. I told you good day. I told you my tribal name was Shavesta, but my given name is Brenda Brainard. I'm from a tribe they call the Coos, Lower Umpqua, and Sayusla Indians. We are the Aboriginal inhabitants of about 1.65 million acres here on the southern Oregon coast. The language I spoke to you in is Milik-Coos. That means I'm from the south side of the river. If any of you have been to Charleston, Oregon, or Sunset Beach, you have been to village sites of my tribe. And I told you I'm from the Beaver clan. In my tribe, we were rigidly aligned around our clan. You could not marry nor date within your own clan. Today, I have the opportunity to share a story with you. I'm going to tell you how salmon put people on the land. So, what is the purpose of storytelling? Is it just for entertainment? Well, prior to media, TV and internet and videos and even books, stories had a huge importance. They were how we learned. They were educational. Stories taught us about natural geographic wonders. They taught us about science and nature, the world around us, how animals came to be and why they look like they do. It teaches us about how to behave, what we can do and what we cannot do, and what will happen to us. So stories are hugely important. To me, stories are so important. They're a tie to my culture, to my ancestors, and to the land that I came from. So this story is how people put salmon on the land. Stories are broken into two categories, before humans and after humans. This story starts before humans, but it's a transition on how humans came to be on land. So a long, long, long time ago, before humans walked on this earth, all the animals got along and they all cooperated. They would have big feasts. They would gather and bring food and sing songs and do dances and tell stories. And every time they would do this and talk about this, they just felt like something was missing, like someone was missing. And they would put out the news every time they'd have a gathering to all the different animals and tell all the animals to tell everybody else. And they would come together and have celebrations and feasts, but they always felt like something was missing. So one day they decided they would ask the Creator, who's missing when we have these huge gatherings? So they said that eagle should fly up high to the sun and ask the Creator their questions. So they had a big feast, eagle prepared, flew very, very high up to the sun place and said to the Creator, we have these huge feasts. We have a great time, but we just feel like something is missing. Is there an animal that we do not know about? The Creator said, yes, there is another animal. It is the human animal. Eagle says, where does this human animal reside? We ask everybody, we walk all around and tell all the fishes in the water and all the animals on land. And the Creator said, this human lives way, way, way out in the ocean, past the breakers. That's where you can first see waves. Past the breakers into a beautiful village under the sea. Eagle said, we must go and find these human animals and invite them to our feasts and our celebration. Creator told the eagle, you need to know about the human animals. They aren't like the rest of you. You just need to know this. They might change your world. Eagle thanked the Creator for all of his information and flew back down to all of his animal friends. At the next gathering, the next feast, Eagle told all the animals what the Creator had told him. There's this human animal. He lives way out in the ocean, past the breakers, way, way out in the ocean. But the Creator said, these animals are different. They might change our world. The animals talked about it and decided that they wanted to be all inclusive. They wanted to make sure everyone knew they were welcome in their world. So the animals thought, What should we do to make these human animals welcome? Perhaps we should make a place just for them to live. All the animals had their own little nests and their own little dens and everything. So they decided the human animals needed a place. So the animals took about and they spent some time making some plank slab houses and some protections. They came back for another feast and they said, "What else could we do to make these human animals feel welcome?" The animals thought and thought and thought perhaps they should put some food in that house. So the animals got together and they gathered food and they left it at the house. They left furs for the human animals to be warm with. Once the animals decided that this village was perfect, they decided they would go and seek out these human animals. So the animals all got together and they talked about it and talked about it and tried to think, who should go? Who should go and find this village under the sea, way out past the breakers? And the whales said, "We will go. We will go. We are big. Lots of human animals could, ride on our back when we come back. We can swim very fast and very far. We could do this." So the animals tried to figure out where they thought this human village under the sea should be, this beautiful village. And they figured if they went straight out the bay past the breakers into the ocean and went straight on, they might find this village. So the animals had a big feast. They sang songs, said some prayers, sent whales on their way down the river, through the bay, over the breakers. The whales swam and swam and swam looking for this village. They went to the left, they went to the right. They swam, swam, swam. Just as they were getting discouraged and exhausted, they see this beautiful village under the sea. The whales are so excited. They want to go and invite the humans to come with them. The whales swim and swim around this village and they sing their song to the humans. They sing and sing and sing. All the humans, they look at these whales with fright and they run away. They run back to their village from the beach on the beautiful village under the sea. The whales don't quite know what to do, but they need to leave. They're exhausted and hungry. So they swim back through the ocean, over the breakers, through the bay, up the river to the village site where all the animals are waiting for the humans. "What?" says all the animals. "Where are these human animals?" The whales said, "We don't know about these human animals. They seem kind of goofy. They wouldn't come with us. We told them about the village, about the food, about this lovely place." So the animals went away. Some days later, they get together for another feast and they decide, we should try another time to invite these human animals. So they try to think, who should go this time? Well, obviously the whales were too big and scary. So the seals said, "We will go. We can swim down the river, through the bay, over the breakers. The whales have taught us exactly where to go in the ocean to this beautiful village. And we're not as big as the whales, but lots of humans could hang on to us and swim back." So they had a big feast. They sang some songs and said some prayers. Down the river, through the bay, over the breakers, the seals go. Swim, swim, swim way out in the ocean to the beautiful village under the sea. They find it. It's gorgeous. They swim around and around like the whales, and they sing their songs to the humans. The humans plug their ears. The whales probably were just going, "Oh, oh, oh." They plug their ears and they run away. The seals are so discouraged. They head back home through the ocean, over the breakers, through the bay, up the river. They're so exhausted when they get back and they tell the animals, "We do not know what's wrong with these humans. We just don't know. They just wouldn't listen to us. They wouldn't come. They ran away." So the animals wondered if maybe the humans didn't want to come to their beautiful village. A few days later, they have another feast and they get together and think, who should we send one more time? One more time to try to find these humans and bring them to this beautiful village. So they think about it and they think about it and they think, maybe we should send the salmon. They're quiet. They don't make loud noises. We could send lots of salmon, and a human could hang on to each salmon as they come up the river. So the animals had a big feast, sang their songs, did their prayers, and they send off all the salmon down the river, through the bay, over the breakers, way out in the oceans. The salmon swim around and swim around the beautiful village when they find it. They motion with their fins for the humans to come. The humans come out on the beach and they kind of look at the salmon like they're interested, but they won't come. Back home, the salmons go over the breakers, through the bay, up the river. They're exhausted when they get home. They're exhausted. They tell all their animal friends, I don't think these humans want to come and live with us. So time goes on. The animals have their gatherings and their celebrations and their festivals. And finally, one day, a few months later, they decide, we will try one more time to bring the humans to land. And they decide that the salmon should go again because the humans seemed most curious and not so afraid of the salmons. Animals had a big feast, sang their songs, did their prayers, down the river, through the bay, over the breakers, out in the ocean to this beautiful village. The salmon are swimming around and around, motioning with their fins for the humans to come. And some brave humans actually come out and they say, maybe these fish animals want something. Maybe they are going to give us something good. But other humans say, maybe they're not. Maybe they're going to give us something bad. Maybe they're going to take us somewhere and hurt us or make us be slaves or something. So a few of the humans decide they will go with the salmon. And they tell all their friends, we will go with the salmon. And if it's good, we will send these salmons back to get more humans. Their friend says, what if it's not good? How will we know? The human said, we will kill all of these salmons. We will kill all these salmons and they won't ever come back here anymore to our beautiful village under the sea. So some brave human beings grab onto the salmons. The salmons swim through the ocean. They have to leap with these human animals on their fins over the breakers, up the bay, all the way up the river. And they deposit these human animals at this beautiful village. The salmon are exhausted. They're skinny from swimming. The humans look around at their beautiful village. They think, this is lovely. This is gorgeous. We have food. We have a place to live. It is so beautiful here. They tell the salmons, go get all of our relatives right now. The salmons tell the humans, we are exhausted. We need to rest. After we have rested, we will go back and look for more humans. So a bit of time goes by and the humans pester the salmon. So finally one day the salmon said, okay, we will go down the river, through the bay, over the breakers, out to the village under the sea and bring back more humans. There was a big feast. Off the salmon go, down the river, through the bay, over the breakers. They get to the beautiful village under the ocean. They're swimming around. The humans say, this must be a good thing. They sent the salmons back for us. And more humans grab onto the salmons and they swim through the ocean, over the breakers, through the bay, up the river. The salmon are so exhausted again when they deposit these humans. All of the humans are so happy to see their friends and relatives. They turn to the salmon and say again, go get more humans. Again, the salmon say, we are so exhausted. We're so exhausted. You have to give us time to rest. Again, the humans badgered and pestered the salmon until a few months later, off the salmon went. The salmon kept doing this, making trips down the river, through the bay, over the breakers to the village out in the ocean. Pretty soon the salmon came back and there were no more humans. The human animals said, did you get all of our relatives? The salmons said, yes, there are no more humans in the beautiful village under the sea. There's just nobody there to get. The humans waited a few months and they said to the salmon, we want to make sure. We want to make sure you got every human there is. Go make another trip. So down the river, through the bay, over the breakers, out into the beautiful village that used to be under the sea. And there were no more human animals. And the salmons came back and reported that. The humans, being bossy like they were, told the salmon, well, that may be true, but we're not sure if we believe you. So every so often, can you go check our village for us? And that is how the human animals got onto land. I think that story is really profound. It talks about my tribe and my people and where I live. The bay that they go through is Sunset Bay, where you can see the breakers and out into the ocean. One of the things I always think that story happened, I think that story happens after perhaps the huge tsunami in 1790. In January of 1790, there was a huge tsunami, where a huge earthquake. There was a huge earthquake. The Cascadia earthquake happened off the coast of Central Oregon, and it caused a tsunami that was like 3 football fields high. It came in onto land some places much as 4 miles, 2 to 4 miles, and it probably washed tons and tons of our villages out that were along the ocean. And so rather than say all of our family members died, I think we say perhaps they went to a beautiful village under the sea and lived. So I don't know exactly when that story came into existence, but when I think about the Cascadia earthquake and how it changed the coast of Oregon and probably washed out a lot of people, I think it makes sense to use that story to explain nature on how this beautiful village got under the sea, perhaps when it had been on land. Also, I think that beautiful village under the sea is a little bit like Atlantis with the beautiful city out in the ocean. And so I don't know if it was made of gold like Atlantis, but it was obviously something that our tribe thought was very beautiful to live at. But the most important part of this story to me is how we have to care for the salmon. The humans told their friends that if it wasn't good for the humans to come on the land, they would kill all the salmon. I worry because my tribe is so connected to salmon. I'm worried that if we as humans kill all of the salmon, we will have no salmon left to make the trip each season to look for more of us under the sea. And as the salmon goes, so goes the human. And we may end up not being here on this earth because we haven't taken care of our salmon brothers. Sometimes you think, oh, humans can't carry salmons. I'm sorry, you think salmons can't carry humans. Salmon used to be huge. They used to say that before they put the dams on the Columbia River, the salmon coming upriver were so thick that you could walk across the river on the backs of the salmon. And salmon used to grow bigger and bigger because we didn't overharvest them. Look at this. This was right around the turn of the century, right around 1900. Look how big that salmon is compared to that man. That salmon is huge, absolutely huge. Look at this man is holding salmons that are almost as tall as him. The biggest salmon I ever saw was about 3.5 feet high or so, and it weighed almost 40 pounds. So that was a really, really big salmon. That's, bigger than a lot of your dogs. Salmon in tribal art is really cool because we make our salmons with all these eyes in their tails, eyes in their fin. These are called ovoid eyes. And so you can see all the animals that are tied to salmons, the bears. And you can see that salmons are they're looking back behind their tail. They're looking to the side. And then here's a human right up here by the head of the salmon to show you how tied we are to salmon. I love this story, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for allowing me to share it with you.